Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about something we often overlook in our quest for connection and belonging: boundaries. In this age of oversharing, where our lives are constantly on display, every thought, every emotion, every moment broadcasted to the world, it's easy to forget the power of keeping parts of yourself sacred. Today, I want to remind you that your story, your life, and your journey are yours. And not everyone deserves a front row seat. Now, let me be clear: connection is the essence of the human experience. We are wired to be seen, heard, and understood. But connection without discernment, that's chaos. Not everyone who claps for you is in your corner. Not everyone who listens to you is rooting for your success. And not everyone who asks about your life has earned the right to know your story. Vulnerability is powerful, it's courageous, it's transformative. But vulnerability without boundaries is not vulnerability, it's exposure. And when you expose too much of yourself to the wrong people, you give away your power. You open yourself up to opinions, judgments, and criticisms that can cloud your vision and shake your confidence. Your life is not an open book for everyone to flip through. Think of your story as a sacred garden. The people you let in, the ones who get to walk among the flowers, must be those who water the roots, nurture the soil, and protect it from harm. Not the ones who trample on the petals or pluck what they want without care. So ask yourself, who am I sharing my story with? Have they earned the right to hear it? Do they respect the weight of my truth? Because here's the thing: your story is valuable. It's not gossip. It's not entertainment. It's a testament to the struggles you've endured, the lessons you've learned, and the person you're becoming. We live in a world that celebrates noise, the loudest voices, the most likes, the biggest platforms, but growth doesn't always happen in the spotlight. Sometimes the most profound transformation occurs in the quiet moments, away from the opinions and expectations of others. By keeping parts of yourself private, you create space for authenticity. You give yourself room to grow without the pressure of performance. You learn to trust your instincts, to listen to the voice within you rather than the noise around you. Boundaries are not walls, they are fences with gates. They protect your peace, your energy, and your purpose. You choose who gets to come in, and you choose when. That's not selfish, that's self-respect. One is, boundaries the foundation of true connection and self-respect. When we talk about boundaries, many people think of them as barriers, walls we put up to keep others out. But in truth, boundaries are not about separation, they're about clarity. They are a declaration of what is okay and what is not okay in our relationships and our lives. Boundaries are not a rejection of others, they are an affirmation of ourselves. They protect what's most valuable: our energy, our peace, and our emotional well-being. The power of boundaries lies in their ability to foster healthier relationships and a deeper sense of self-respect. When we set boundaries, we teach people how to treat us. It's not about controlling others, it's about taking responsibility for our own needs and feelings. Imagine trying to fill someone else's cup. When yours is empty, you cannot give your best to others unless you first protect and nurture your own well-being. Boundaries allow us to do just that. Here's the truth: not everyone in your life needs to know everything about you. Oversharing is often mistaken for vulnerability, but they are not the same. Vulnerability is sharing with intention, opening up to those who have earned your trust. Oversharing, on the other hand, often stems from a desire for validation or connection, but can leave us feeling exposed and misunderstood. Boundaries are the tool that helps us discern the difference. Brené Brown often emphasizes that vulnerability without boundaries is not true vulnerability, it's simply recklessness. When we let too many people into the sacred spaces of our lives, we dilute the value of our connections. Boundaries are how we decide who has the privilege of seeing our most authentic selves. They are how we protect our emotional energy so that we can show up fully for the people and experiences that matter most. Saying no or limiting access to your personal life can feel uncomfortable, especially if you've been conditioned to please others. But remember, setting boundaries is not about being mean or distant, it's about being clear. Clear is kind. Ambiguity, resentment, and overextension are what create disconnection. Ultimately, boundaries are a form of love for yourself and for others. When you establish them, you are choosing honesty over avoidance and clarity over resentment. You are choosing to show up authentically in your life without over-explaining, oversharing, or overextending. Boundaries don't push people away, they create the space for meaningful, intentional connections. Number 2 is vulnerability has earned the importance of trusting the right people. Vulnerability is often mistaken for complete openness, but let me tell you, vulnerability is not about putting your entire life on display. It's about choosing to share parts of yourself with those who have earned the right to hear your story. Not everyone deserves access to your deepest thoughts, your fears, or your dreams. In fact, sharing too much with the wrong people can leave you feeling exposed, drained, or even betrayed. That's why we must approach vulnerability with discernment, intention, and courage. Brené Brown famously says, vulnerability without boundaries is not vulnerability at all. True vulnerability is a sacred act. And like any sacred act, it requires trust. Trust is not given blindly. It is built brick by brick, moment by moment, through consistent actions and mutual respect. It's about creating a connection with people who can hold your story with care, compassion, and confidentiality. These are the people who will not use your honesty against you or diminish your experiences. Think about it. How many times have you opened up to someone only to feel dismissed or judged? Maybe they gave you unsolicited advice when all you needed was understanding, or maybe they used your vulnerability as a weapon later. These experiences teach us that while vulnerability is powerful, it must be shared wisely. It's not about building walls, it's about building doors that you only open for those who have proven they can honor your trust. At the heart of this practice is the understanding that you don't owe everyone access to your inner world. You are not being closed off or secretive by being selective about who you share with. You are protecting your emotional energy and ensuring that the people you allow into your life are aligned with your values and your well-being. Trust is a privilege, not a right, and it must be earned over time. When you share your vulnerabilities with the right people, it deepens your connections and strengthens your relationships. It allows for mutual growth and understanding. But when you overshare with those who haven't earned it, you risk diluting your sense of self and leaving your heart unprotected. Remember, your story is precious. Not everyone gets a front row seat to your life. Vulnerability is a gift, and you should only give it to those who will cherish it. Number 3 is protecting your peace, why oversharing can be harmful. In a world that celebrates constant connectivity and oversharing on social media, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that putting everything out there is the path to connection or validation. But let me tell you something, there's immense power in holding parts of yourself sacred. Protecting your peace doesn't mean shutting people out or becoming emotionally unavailable. It means creating boundaries that safeguard your energy, emotions, and well-being. Oversharing, especially with the wrong people or platforms, can have unintended consequences. When you put too much of yourself out there, you open the door to judgment, criticism, and misunderstanding. Not everyone has the capacity to hold your vulnerability with care. And that's not necessarily a reflection of you. It's often a reflection of them. Some people may project their insecurities onto your experiences, while others may take advantage of the information you share. And let's not forget the emotional toll of reliving certain aspects of your life repeatedly because you've shared them with too many people. The truth is, not every moment of your life needs to be broadcast. Some experiences are meant to stay private, cherished only by you or shared intimately with a select few who truly understand their significance. Protecting your peace means recognizing that your life is not a performance. It's not about seeking likes, comments, or validation. It's about being intentional with your energy and ensuring that your emotional space remains a place of safety and growth. When we overshare, we also run the risk of losing sight of ourselves. We dilute our stories by putting them in the hands of too many people, and in doing so, we give away pieces of our power. Protecting your peace is about reclaiming that power. It's about saying, this part of my life is mine, and I choose to keep it sacred. It's about understanding that boundaries are not walls meant to shut people out their gates that you control, deciding when, how, and with whom to share. This doesn't mean you shouldn't be vulnerable or authentic. It means being mindful of where, when, and with whom you're sharing. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your life. By protecting your peace, you create a space where your energy is respected, your experiences are honored, and your emotional well-being remains intact. It's not selfish, it's self-preservation, and it's essential for living a grounded, fulfilled life. The power of protecting your peace, the final word as we close. Let's remember that protecting your peace is not about isolation, it's about alignment. It's about living a life that honors who you truly are, unapologetically. It's about reclaiming your energy, setting boundaries, and choosing where and how you invest your emotional and mental resources. This isn't selfish, it's necessary. Because when you protect your peace, you become the best version of yourself, not just for you, but for the people who truly matter in your life. The truth is, not everyone needs to know everything about you. Your dreams, your struggles, your journey, they are sacred. And not everyone has the capacity or the right to hold them. By protecting your peace, you create room for clarity and self-reflection, allowing you to make decisions based on your values rather than external pressures. Letting go of the need to explain yourself to everyone is one of the most freeing things you'll ever do. When you stop seeking validation from others, you begin to live for yourself, aligned with your purpose and your truth. That's where real growth happens. That's where joy begins to take root. And that's when life starts to feel like it's yours again. So take this with you, your peace is your power. Protect it fiercely. Not everyone deserves access to your energy, your story, or your heart. Choose carefully. And remember that in doing so, you're not shutting people out, you're making room for what truly matters. You're making space for a life that feels authentic, intentional, and deeply fulfilling. Because at the end of the day, protecting your peace isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. And you, my friend, deserve nothing less.